I would like to begin my closing speech for 2 minutes. First of all, my opponents again trying to abolish all prisons, even though they accepted our definition, saying we will not abolish prisons which naturally violate their human rights. This means we're not abolishing prisons in unstable economies. Second, they said we're ignoring the surrounding people's human right and we should focus on the US because the US has 25% of the world's inmates. However, we do not, again, under our definition, we want to abolish prisons which sexually abuse or violently beat them, which concludes to death and more deteriorating results than before, as I stated in my first point and second point. The surrounding people are still protected by the prisons which function under the definition from the UNODC. Third, talking about the fact that I used the evidence from the New York Times in order to respond to your argument, which is that you as saying those are a form of prison. A form of prison might have a similar purpose but are completely different, which you didn't explain. On top, you should have replied a solution for Japan and Brazil, which you didn't. So my first point, quality of life, completely stands. Fourth point is that you're mentioning evidence in your speech. However, you didn't give any citations to me, which made me to search for your evidence. However, do not know which evidence you really use, which means your argument actually has no supportive backgrounds. Fifth, you said we're ignoring the fact that prison can be reformed, again not explaining how we will reform, and probability of your argument is again unclear because you didn't show how likely it is to reform them and the capability of reforming prisons which do not function under the UNODC definition. Let me summarize both sides. They focused on separating inmates from society in order to respect citizens' human rights and simultaneously punishing prisoners. This is a clash point with our first point, quality of life, which focuses on abolishing prisons which completely kill or abuse inmates and do not fulfill the roles as prisons. Saying that we never mentioned we will significantly abolish all prisons, however we still abolish prison in order to protect inmates and humanity after our plan. My second point, focusing on safer society by abolishing selective prison has a more beneficial effect to the society, as we said in our first speech that being more strict and violent to prisoners only made things worse. At the end of the debate, they didn't state for what and who we will not abolish prisons which violently kill and rape incarcerated criminals. On top, they didn't show that reforming can change those kind of prisons. We're focusing on keeping prisons alive, still depriving the right to liberty and protect humanity, making a safer society by abolishing prisons which are killing and abusing inmates repeatedly to this day. Thank you. 終わった。